Hi, I'm Andre, and this is Learning to Read Manga in Japanese, a practical guide for beginners. Part 8, Additional Practices. So if you're watching this video, I assume you made it through all the other videos and or you're at the point in your manga reading journey where you want to know what's next. I've talked about how to prepare to read Japanese manga, the process of reading Japanese manga when you're not fluent, and solutions to all the hurdles you might face when reading Japanese manga. So today, let's talk about where to go from there. Our original goal of learning to read manga fluently in Japanese is almost there. But how do you increase your fluency faster? In my opinion, there are two major areas of reading Japanese that we need to focus on: kanji and more advanced grammar. Vocabulary is important too, but by continuing to read manga and make flashcards, you already have that covered. First, let's talk about more advanced grammar. If you have finished the equivalent of Genki Books 1 and 2, I recommend looking for some new resources to continue your learning of Japanese grammar. The Japan Times, who publishes Genki, has an advanced textbook called An Integrated Approach to Intermediate Japanese. There are also dedicated grammar textbooks like the series The Dictionary of Japanese Grammar, which has beginner, intermediate, and advanced books. Personally, I use the textbook Tobira, Gateway to Advanced Japanese, which includes plenty of reading samples, examples, and exercises akin to the ones in Genki. You could also look into practice books for the Japanese language proficiency test, with N5 being the most basic level and N1 being the most advanced level. As far as free online resources go, the best one I've found is JLPT Sensei, which is a JLPT test prep site run by a husband and wife team. Of course, it's geared toward the test, but it offers well-written English explanations of complex grammar as well as example sentences. Okay, let's talk kanji. In my first video, I said you can skip over kanji when you're just starting out and you just ignore it. But at some point, I think you do need to start studying it. And I have to be honest, I don't know what the best way to learn kanji is. Of course, the most natural way to do it would just be to organically absorb kanji by reading lots of manga, particularly manga without furigana, and learning through that experience. That's probably the easiest and least boring way, but it's also a bit inefficient and it may lead to lots of struggling while reading. You can learn kanji the way Japanese students do, through rote memorization and repetition, though of course that's also a bit inefficient. Personally, what I have done is learning kanji by creating flashcards with custom mnemonics. But while making the mnemonics can be fun because of the creativity involved, it can also quickly become tedious. Plus, I've never enjoyed reviewing my Anki flashcards. No matter what, until I find a method I really love, I've come to accept that learning kanji will be tedious. But I think it's still important to set out to study them outside of your normal reading. In my experience learning kanji, I've come to be far less intimidated whenever I see a new kanji in a manga I'm reading, and to be far more confident whenever I read something without furigana. Whatever method you choose to study kanji with, the key things you want to be able to do whenever you encounter a word with unfamiliar kanji is 1. Guess how to read the word, and 2. Guess the meaning of the word. As usual, I'll be leaving links to helpful resources in the description. So, more advanced grammar and kanji. Okay, bonus tips. 1. Try watching anime with Japanese subtitles or with the subtitles turned off to train your listening skills. Hearing what anime characters sound like will help you understand the flow and rhythm of their lines when reading them in manga form. 2. Try challenging yourself even more by reading light novels. 3. Consider looking into classical Japanese, especially if you like Japanese historical stories. To be honest, classical Japanese is rarely used. Think of it like the equivalent of Shakespearean English, but just like Shakespearean English, it can be absolutely mystifying if all you've studied is modern-day standard Japanese. And here's my final tip. Practice reading manga consistently. Ideally, it should be every day, but in general, the more frequent the better. And try not to take extended breaks, like for weeks or months, from studying or reading, as you'll start to lose the skills you spend so much effort achieving. I know that from experience. As I've mentioned before, I'm still learning. I'm not fluent yet. I'm not at the finish line yet. but hopefully I've been able to help some of you who are at the starting line. This is the end of the series. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for watching any of the other videos if you did. Leave any questions you have in the comments below. And remember, at the end of the day, this is for fun. You get to read manga, so have fun.